One of the best ways to measure your success in a language is how well you use its idioms. The tricky bit, of course, is using idioms correctly, and this is because the literal translation is often different from what the phrase actually means. So in this video, I'm going to give you 7 common idioms used in Spain to help you sound more authentic. I'll teach you what they mean, but also how to use them. And this is a sure way to impress the locals and get them asking, ¿Cómo aprendiste español? Número 1. Ser Pan Comido. This common idiomatic expression literally means bread to be eaten. In English, we'd say it's a piece of cake. So use this one when something is very easy to do. Here's an example. Let's say you're at university. You're about to do an important exam, but it's going to be easy for you. You've already learned the subject material in another class, and so you'd say to your fellow compañeros, you'd say, Este examen es pan comido. Using an expression like this is a natural way for you to sound like a native in conversation. Número 2. Acostarse con las gallinas. Now with this expression, the literal translation is to go to bed with the chickens. Now that doesn't sound too pleasant, but what does it actually mean? Well, it means to go to bed early. Here's a great example of how to use this expression like a local. Let's say you've been working overtime and you've been really tired. Your friends are always inviting you out, but you're turning them down because you're just exhausted. So your friends might say to you, Ya eres muy aburrido, ahora solo te acuestas con las gallinas. You see? So when you go to bed with the hens, you actually go to bed early. Número 3. Andarse por las ramas. Now this one literally means to walk around the branches. So this isn't too distinct from English, but we would say to beat around the bush, not the branches. Here's our example. Suppose your brother said he'd come to visit you in Spain. When you keep texting him about it, he just keeps changing the conversation, or he says that he hasn't found a good flight yet, or whatever. So your friend asks, ¿Viene o no viene tu hermano? Like, is he coming or not? And you could say, Se anda por las ramas. Aún no me ha confirmado nada. This is a common idiom, so whenever someone's not being direct, like they're not giving you a clear response or something, you say, Se anda por las ramas. Número 4. Peor Es Nada. Now the literal meaning here would be worse is nothing. So what does that mean? Well, actually it's quite simple. It means better than nothing. Like for example, when you're working overtime during the holidays and you expect your employer to give you a couple of weeks off after the season is over. And when it's all said and done, your boss gives you just 1 week's paid vacation, but you were really hoping for more time off. But of course you say, Bueno, peor es nada. So, when you really want to sound like a local, you don't say mejor que nada, you say peor es nada. Número 5. Tal para cual. The literal translation here is really odd. Okay? Tal para cual would mean such for which, but this means absolutely nothing in English, so the actual idiomatic equivalent in English is 2 peas in a pod, made for each other, perfect for each other, and so on. Here's an easy example. Your friend has a new girlfriend, and she is exactly like him. They both love, let's say, adventure sports. So a comment you could make about those two would be, Sandra y Ismael son tal para cual. 2 peas in a pod. They're made for each other. So, next time you want to comment on 2 people being perfect together, just say, tal para cual. Número 6. Quemarse las cejas. Now the literal translation here is to burn your eyebrows. Ouch. Now in English we have the idiomatic equivalent to burn the midnight oil. This one's a bit old school, so if you don't recognize it in English, that's fine. It's an easy concept. It means to work or study late into the night. So here's an example. Let's say you studied all night for a big Spanish test, but it turns out the test was actually really easy. So your friend says to you, No sé por qué te quemaste las cejas. Yo te dije que sería fácil. When you burn the midnight oil, you actually burn your eyebrows in Spanish. Te quemaste las cejas. Número 7. Buscarle 3 pies al gato. Okay, so what on earth does this mean? It means to look for trouble. For instance, looking for a cat that has 3 feet. By doing so, you're looking for trouble because you aren't going to find a cat with 3 feet. So let's say a friend of yours, we'll call him Joaquin, is really angry with another friend. And let's call that friend Marco. Now, Joaquin heard a rumor that his girlfriend went out with Marco last weekend when he was out of town. Now, you know there is no way to confirm this story, especially not by confronting Marco about it, because you know he's just going to deny it. So you say to your friend, no le busques tres pies al gato. Sabes que tienes que hablar primero con tu novia. Another way this expression is used is when we want to tell someone not to complicate things, okay? So for example, siempre le buscas tres pies al gato, cuando en realidad es tan sencillo. So you want to impress your friends from Spain? Using buscarle tres pies al gato in either of these two types of situations will do just that. So once again, here are our 7 need-to-know idioms from Spain. Ser Pan Comido. Acostarse con las gallinas. Andarse por las ramas. Peor Es Nada. Tal Para Cual. Quemarse las cejas. Buscarle tres pies al gato. So now that you understand these idioms, start practicing them in your day-to-day conversations. Es pan comido. Let us know how it goes and leave a comment below.
To download a PDF of all of the phrases you've just heard, please click the link in the description below to sign up for our free Spanish Vault. And if you'd like more phrases and idioms that will help you become fluent in Spanish, then check out our Phrases and Idioms playlist that will teach you lots of great stuff from all around the Spanish-speaking world. I'll see you back here for new videos every week. Until then, hasta luego.